What up guys, today I'm going to be talking about how can Goku and Vegeta get stronger to beat Black Frieza in the next upcoming arc that should hopefully come in within a couple of months soon, since, the Dragon Ball Superhero arc thingy has been going on for quite a bit, but it seems to be more at the tail end of the story with, the introduction of Orange Piccolo. And before I get into this, I want to give a big shout out to Funtime Goku for subscribing to this channel. Big thank you to you for subscribing. Let's get back into the discussion itself. How can Vegeta and Goku get stronger to beat Black Frieza? And even though we haven't seen Black Frieza's full power or the full extent of his power, we have seen quite a bit of how powerful he's gotten with the little glimpse of what it was showcased in the end of the Granola arc. He first was able to take out Gas in his base form pretty casually, even though Gas at this point was basically more to the tail end of his power. You guys got to remember the fact that even though he was in a zombie state, he still was pretty powerful. Goku and Vegeta stated that he still had the amount of power that he had before. I think he was getting even stronger. So Frieza being able to beat him in just his final form, it's insane, because now he still has his golden Frieza form and then the black Frieza form, which is even more powerful. Then he showcased a little bit of his black Frieza power, which I do think he was still significantly holding back, even though he one-shotted them, which is very crazy. I think he was holding back even more than just one-shotting them. But he was able to take out Ultra Ego Vegeta and True Ultra Instinct, Goku, which these two guys got new power-ups already, and they got way stronger. But there's a little problem with their new power-ups that I'm going to be going into in this video and explaining how they can utilize, these new transformations to actually give them somewhat of an edge against, Black Frieza. Now, we don't really know how powerful he is, since he was probably just holding back and just messing with them, but still, even with him holding back, we've seen how significantly powerful he got. And it makes sense because in Resurrection of F, Frieza went from below Super Saiyan Goku's level of power in the Frieza saga to surpassing Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, to the point where even with their newly unlocked power with the Super Saiyan Blue, he surpassed that. And that is factoring the fact that both Goku and Vegeta would have had to absorb their Super Saiyan God formed into their base, meaning that their base would have been equivalent to Super Saiyan God, who is a beyond universal level threat. So that's just crazy for me to think that he got that much powerful within 4 months. Now imagine 10 years in another dimension that we don't know, how intense it was, so it probably gave him even more of a boost in power. So we don't really know the full extent of his power, but even with that being said, I still think that there are still stuff that we could, talk about on what Goku and Vegeta can do to get stronger to beat him. Now, I'm going to be mainly focusing on both Goku and Vegeta. That's why I titled this video on how can Goku and Vegeta beat Black Frieza. But I also want to talk about the rest of the Z Fighters, since we did get a power, boost with at least Gohan and Piccolo in the Dragon Ball Superhero film, with Gohan getting his Beast form and Piccolo getting his Orange Piccolo form. And then we also got introduced to Gamma 1 and 2, though I think it was Gamma 2 who died and Gamma 1 was left, though I think Dr. Hito will be able to remake him again, but who knows, it might take a long time to make the Gamma, since they were quite powerful. Now, there is quite a bit of discussion on how powerful is Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo and Gamma 1 and 2 comparably to Goku and Vegeta, either from the Moro arc or till now. We don't really know. It's a pretty big toss-up. There's some people that argue certain levels of power these characters are on. I disagree with some of them, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter. In the end of the day, they got power boost, and Gamma 1 and 2 are still pretty powerful. Obviously not enough to beat Black Frieza, but remember, to fight Black Frieza, they're not just going to do one character like just Goku or just Vegeta. They're going to have all of them. So in this fight, they're going to have Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, Gamma 1 at least, maybe Gamma 2 might be recreated at this time. Granola, if they can get him Beast, he's still alive, and I don't think he has Vendetta anymore against them. He still has one against, Frieza, and Frieza is definitely, dangerous as hell, so he probably would take him on. And then we have Broly, because we saw Broly train with Goku and Vegeta on Beerus' planet in the Dragon Ball Superhero film. So he's also a player that, and they showed also specifically in the manga. So there's many other characters that can do stuff, but let's be honest, the main focus is going to be on Goku and Vegeta, hopefully more so on Vegeta, because let's be honest, all of us do want to see Vegeta get the dub and beat him. That's what we want in Resurrection of F. That's what we were told by Toriyama until he bullshitted us and just gave it to Goku. So hopefully this time Vegeta gets it, but I still do think that both of them need to work really hard to, be able to beat him. And it's gonna be more than just it's gonna be more of a group effort than just, both of them getting stronger. It's gonna be all these other parts, because I think it's gonna be a big fight, seeing as how powerful he is. I think they need to get all their big guns, and that's why they kind of upgraded both Gohan and Piccolo, because they are very fan favorite characters. They're very popular, and they're usually one of the most powerful Z fighters besides Goku and Vegeta. Obviously also Majin Buu, but I think at this point Majin Buu, he's kind of put to the wayside. Hopefully in the future they can upgrade him in power. If they're going to upgrade Frieza multiple times, they could at least upgrade Buu significantly more powerful. But going back to it, what can they do? They got 2 new transformations, and some people might say, well, that they're shown that Black Frieza was able to handle both these new transformations pretty easily. Yes, that is true, but remember this, guys. Remember, they just newly acquired these forms or abilities or whatever you want to call them. They haven't had that much time to utilize it. Goku a little bit more so, since he had Master Ultra Instinct for quite a while, but he did find out the problem with Master Ultra Instinct. That's why he had to transition to True Ultra Instinct, which is kind of the same thing but different, and he would still need to get the grasp on it a little more. Now, what can they do? I think the main thing they should do is try to find a way to work around these new forms that they have, or unlock a different form that could help them out. Goku already kind of did that, but I still do think there's some ways that you can improve upon it. Now, I'm going to go through Goku's side first, then I'm going to focus on Vegeta's, then I'm going to talk about mainly the other cast and what they can do. Now, Goku, he is unlocked his new power, but even though I think True Ultra Instinct is stronger than Master Ultra Instinct, obviously from what we were shown in the power, I don't think it's significantly more powerful to the point where it's going to give him a big enough advantage. And we saw that it didn't, work out. Now, that doesn't mean that the form can't work out. It just feels like that the form is just still, he's just getting the grasp of it, because he's still trying to work his head around how to, use the Ultra Instinct. First, he had the Ultra Instinct Omen, which they also called Sign in I think the English version. So he had Omen, right? And it was an incomplete version of it. Then he had the mastered one, which was supposed to be the completed version. But now we're being told that one, it does, have stamina problems, and he can't last in that form for too long. And then second of all, now the big argument is he can't really put his rage into it. So his anger, because he needs the anger to amplify his power. He does have the ability, that's cool, but the fact that he has to be in a tranquil mind state where he has to let go of any forms of anger or whatever emotions, it does weaken it in that regard. And True Ultra Instinct does have the ability and the flexibility to raise the power by using the emotion, whereas the other one, it's fixated on no emotions at all, at least in the manga version. In the anime, we do see Goku getting mad in his Master Ultra Instinct form, and it didn't seem like a problem. And we know that in the manga has their own transformation sometimes, compared to the anime. So the anime might go differently. But for right now, I'm just focusing on the manga. So what can Goku do? Well, he clearly has problems on what to do with the Ultra Instinct. I think the best thing to do is to, obviously try to train with somebody who knows more, like Whis. He has been training with Whis for quite a bit, but I want to see what Whis' thoughts are on his decision, because Whis' whole point, because let's be honest, Whis' mindset on Ultra Instinct is kind of narrow, because he's looking at it more through the lens of an angel, whereas angels, they don't really have that much emotion, and they basically just do what they're told, and a lot of times they're supposed to be not hands-on approach with the universe, is because of the rules by Zeno. So their position is different, whereas Goku, he's supposed to be protecting it, and he wants to fight and defend it, and he requires to use emotions, and he is more of a, like a human being, he has like emotions and stuff like that, whereas the angels don't really have emotions as deep, so it's easier for them. So Goku's a lot harder. I just want to see how Whis would react to it. Like, what were his thoughts? He obviously wants him to use the master form because that's the perfected form, but he clearly should be able to see that, he has emotions, and it's kind of hard to do that. So he could probably train with Whis. Whis could try to work around and say, okay, I understand you're not like us where we don't have any emotions. You can master it, but it's still a problem for you. So maybe this new form where you just get you can get a rage boost, maybe we can work around that. So he will need somebody like Whis, who has expertise in Ultra Instinct, to help him learn it better. Because I do think that he should. You would assume that Whis, being the teacher of Goku and Vegeta, that he would give them significant improvements in their power. But he really hasn't. The only significant improvements we've seen was what he did with Vegeta from before the Battle of Gods movie to the Resurrection of F movie, where he was able to unlock Super Saiyan God and the power and essence of it by just training with Whis. But besides that, Whis hasn't really gotten that significantly powerful, if I'm being honest. He's been kind of a disappointment when it comes to his training. Yes, he's helped Goku get the Ultra Instinct stuff, but I don't think he's pushed them far enough. So I think if they want to make Goku stronger, have a better chance of beating Frieza, or at least standing up to him, they definitely need to help him find a way to master Ultra Instinct or understand it better, so he can use it in a more proper way for himself. So have it where Whis tries to help him out more and gives him more significant, a better handle over the state itself. Or we can have an introduction of bringing back Mirrors, because we know that he got revived as a mortal. He wouldn't be as powerful as he was as an angel, but I still do think he would have a significant amount of power, and he will still have at least the knowledge of how angels fight, and the mastery of their skills and techniques, and definitely the understanding of Ultra Instinct, which basically got him in trouble in the first place. But now he won't get in trouble. So even if Whis can't go as far as he wants to with his training with Goku, maybe Mirrors can jump in. So he could have Mirrors and Whis both train him on how to, master or how to properly handle his Ultra Instinct state more. And I think Mirrors might have a better insight, since one, he seemed like he was better with the hands-on approach with Goku than Whis was. And also the fact that since no longer he's an angel and he's immortal, he should probably understand more about the feelings and emotion side. So he will probably understand more on Goku's problems. So he could probably use it too. And it would also just be great if Goku can spar with Mirrors. If he could spar with him and they both use their Ultra Instinct, that could help him out significantly to understand the potential of the ability and unlock more secrets about it and amplify it further. So I just want to see that. They need to really work on that and fix that. Also, another thing I think that Goku can do, this might give him a significant help, but he could also improve on some of his other techniques that he already has, like for example instant transmission. I think instant transmission is a cool technique, but there's a lot of drawbacks to it, and I think Goku, from a long time ago, he could have, for a while now, I think he could have amplified it and got a new more amplified, better instant transmission, which we have seen in the series called Kai Kai. This was mostly shown to at least, or granted to, the Supreme Kais and their attendants. We've seen Kobito Kai do this, and basically Kobitos do this, and then Kobito Kai. And when Kobito Kai was saving both Goku and Vegeta and also Mr. Satan, and I think also Dende, when he was saving them, he basically was able to do it instantly, whereas instant transmission had some problems. So Kai Kai is it's like an amped and more buffed version of instant transmission. One, you don't need to lock on an energy signature, so you can go anywhere. Two, you don't need to really concentrate, so it doesn't have that problem. And three, is just faster, so it has more of a wider range where it can go. It has less limitations, and there's less that it requires to use. Now, maybe this might be specifically just to the Supreme Kais and their attendants, but who knows? They could probably write it away where Goku can also unlock it. So maybe Goku can get rid of instant transmission because it's an inferior version of Kai Kai anyway, and he could use Kai Kai. That would help him out significantly. If he's fighting as like Black Frieza, even if it's not like a significantly offensive move, it will still give him somewhat an advantage of teleporting him around, moving in a fight far more effortlessly, or teleporting him to other places and dimensions, or if Goku will also go into other dimensions. So he can do that. Another thing, this could work for both Goku and Vegeta, and this is something I thought of, and they might not do it, but these ideas of like training methods, they're just coming from my own headcanon and my logic on what they could do. So it doesn't really matter if it doesn't happen in the actual series. But Elder Kai, he has the ability to unlock, the character's potentials. He did it with Gohan, and we saw how significantly powerful Gohan got. Now, a lot of the arguments that the fans make is, oh, well, Gohan had a lot of potential because he's a half-breed, whereas Goku and Vegeta are full-blooded Saiyans, so it wouldn't really have that much potential. But I don't really believe that. They say that stuff all the time. I remember around the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament arc, Vegeta literally states to Goku that, hey, at our regular physical level, we're pretty much at our peaks. So the only way to get stronger is to get new techniques or transformations or whatever. But we know that's not true. We've seen after that, they've gotten stronger physically in their base form and just stacked it on top with the the other Super Saiyan forms. They didn't need new transformations, which they did get and abilities, but they didn't need that to get significantly stronger. They could still get naturally stronger. So I don't agree with the whole they don't have high potential. So what? Just because they might set it at some point, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the case throughout the entire time. We've seen enough retcons and Super to know that them retconning that wouldn't be that big of a thing. So I could definitely see, Elder Kai unlocking both Goku and Vegeta's potential, and Goku and Vegeta having significant amount of power. I mean, they did it for Piccolo. Look what happened. Shenron was supposed to unlock only a bit, and it was Shenron, a bit of his power, and look at how much he got more powerful. But we have Elder Kai who can significantly do it, and he's going to bring out the full potential. So I do think that if he was to bring out Goku and Vegeta's full potential, they might not have gotten as much of a significant boost as Gohan did from, his Super Saiyan 2 state to his Mystic form, but they would have still got a crazy amount of, jump in power, and especially against somebody like Black Frieza, which they need all the stops that they can have to, beat him. This would be the best to, just pull out this. Now, like I said, I know Goku and Vegeta are too prideful. Unlike Gohan's a little bit more like lenient when it comes to that. They're definitely more prideful, but it would be cool to see them have their potential unlocked. So we see a potential unlocked form of Goku and Vegeta. Think about it. The base state is equivalent, at this point is way past Super Saiyan God Goku's in Battle of Gods. Imagine that on top of it with a mystic, power amp, and then these transformations, these godly transformations mixed in with a mystic power. That shit would be insane. Goku and Vegeta's power up would be astronomical. So those are a couple of things that Goku could do. Now let's go to Vegeta. Vegeta, I think, has significantly more interesting things he can do because Ultra Ego is far more newer and it's less used by Vegeta. Goku's already had the Master, Ultra Instinct stuff and then the Mastered Ultra Instinct. So it's a lot of just back and forth with that. But Vegeta just got newly, Ultra Ego. And he did mention that he can't do what Beerus did where he was completely a destructive mindset. So he can never really fully utilize Ultra Ego. But even if that's the case, he should still be able to use it, and that still gives him a significant, advantage. So I don't think they should just get rid of it completely, and hopefully they don't, because yes, it does make sense with his argument and his statement that you have to be a purely destructive mind, and he's not that type of guy anymore. But let's be honest, they can't just introduce this crazy ass power for Vegeta literally in this one arc and then be like, yep, we're never going to show it again. That just sounds dumb to me. I think they could do it like how Goku did, where he doesn't work around it. Maybe Vegeta could not utilize the full power of it or potential of it, but maybe he can still use it and mix it in with his other powers so he doesn't need to fully utilize the power, so he can get a significant power boost. So what can Vegeta do? Obviously train with Beerus, he could just tell him, hey, look, I can't really do that. Maybe Beerus can talk to him like, okay, look, you can't fully unlock it, but you can use somewhat of the power. And if you at least just focus and you can control yourself, maybe you won't use fully the power, but you could at least use some of the Hakai energy that you have within you. And if Vegeta wants to get better at it, he could also talk to the guy that we first saw using this, which is Topo. Topo is the first non-deity to be able to showcase this. And though they never stated that that's what it was that he was using in the Tournament of Power, let's be honest, it is the same thing. And Topo clearly had a longer time using it. He had a better hold of it. And even though Topo is also kind of like Vegeta, where he's not an evil character, he's not a completely destructive being, he still was able to use it significantly well, even though he pretty much lost. But remember, Vegeta is way more powerful than Topo naturally, so him getting the form is a lot more beneficial to him. So Vegeta is, struggling to learn with, Beerus. He could probably contact Topo. Yes, they had a fight in, the Universal Survival Tournament. But remember, this is, that was just a tournament. This has nothing to do with it. Topo has no real hatred towards like Vegeta and them. It was just to save his own universe, which now that's not the problem. I think Vegeta, if he's like not too, prideful, which I think at this point he has, gotten better with that, he would be able to talk to him like, hey, look, in the Tournament of Power when we fought, you were using this ability, you were using it very destructively. You still lost, but you showed a significant, control of this power. And I've gotten unlocked it with, Beerus, but I just can't really give myself into it fully. Do you know any tips that you can help me out? So he could probably like train with Topo as a sparring partner to help him out, just like how Goku does with Mirrors. So he can have that. So they both have like the masters who have mastered these forms, and then they have two people that know the whole ins and outs of it and can help them out to benefit them. So I think him working with Topo to master his ultra ego a lot better could also benefit him in that regard. So there's just so many things that we can like see them do. I think they just really need to focus on the forms they haven't trained that. Gohan just got his beast form, so he needs to train that. Piccolo got his orange form, train that. Also, we need to see Goku and Vegeta, seeing them both and gauging where their power lies. We know that where they somewhat got power, especially Piccolo, because we saw the limit to what his power can, do. But Gohan, we just saw a bit of it because he took that Cell Max pretty easily. He wasn't struggling at all. He took that punch, didn't flinch, and was able to easily obliterate him. So we need to see how powerful these guys are before we state what they can do. But for Goku and Vegeta, I think the best thing they can do is try to work on their forms. Goku could try to find a way to better utilize the true Ultra Instinct form by, training with Whis and Mirrors. Vegeta can also do that with his Ultra Ego with Beerus and Topo, and they both could, if they unlock their potential at, the Elder Kai, that would significantly help, but I don't see that happening. And Goku could get the new instant transmission like a Kai Kai. Like I said, I'm not saying that this is going to be the case. I'm just throwing some ideas out there to how they can get stronger. And for Vegeta, maybe he can work more on his spirit fusion or whatever, or the techniques that he learned from the Yard Rat, people. Maybe Goku could also train fully that, since he didn't fully finish it. But they need to learn more techniques and stuff if they want to beat, Black Frieza. Now, there's one other thing I think they could do to, have an advantage. And I think this is pretty interesting. And I don't see them going this route, but I think this would be a clever and really well-written a route that they could go. But before I get into that, I do want to go into the other Z fighters and what they can do. Now, when I say the other Z fighters, I pretty much mean Piccolo and Gohan. I'm not talking about Krillin. I'm not talking about Android 18. Maybe 17 might be able to do some stuff. I'm not talking about, Yamcha or Tien or any of those guys. Sadly, those guys at this point just don't really do anything. Maybe there's a creative way they could help them give a power boost, but it's mainly Gohan and Piccolo since they already got their power-ups. So what can we do with these guys? Gohan, Piccolo, just train more, learn how to utilize it, and probably just amplify their already base power, so it increases that power. Gamma 1 and 2, they could also train with them since they basically were having the whole fight. Mainly more Piccolo because he's more on their level than Gohan is, but even Piccolo is stronger than them. But they can work. I think Dr. Hito would also have a very important role because if he can create androids that powerful, he can also create, he can either create some androids for like very powerful sparring, or he could just create some like technology and stuff to help them out to amplify their power, or to help them understand their power, engage it, and be able to control it better, right? So we can do that with them. Then we have like people like Broly and Granola. Granola, he in the last arc, he was very powerful. Obviously, Goku and Vegeta were able to surpass him, especially Vegeta with the Ultra Ego stuff. Though, even though he surpassed him, he wasn't able to handle it long enough for to give him the win over Granola. But Goku with his true Ultra Instinct is above him. But still, I think if they train with him, because he just got his power unlocked through the wish. If he trains, I think he would be significantly more deadly, and his power would go up more. And he, I think, has a lot more techniques that he can teach Goku and Vegeta to amplify them with techniques, and they could probably help him out with his. So I think Granola would be a pretty great factor. And like I said, he does have a reason to hate Frieza. He would have a reason to have a vendetta against him, since he basically was the one who got his people erased and stuff, and he knows that Goku and Vegeta at this point, they're not bad people, so he can't really hold a grudge against them, but he can definitely hold one against Frieza, and after what he's been doing in that arc. So I want to see him jump into the fray too. And then going to Broly, I think Broly is the most interesting case outside of Goku and Vegeta. What can Broly do? Well, Broly, even though he's way weaker than them at this point, we know that he is a very powerful character, and even with the level of power they have above him, he is one of those characters that can surpass that or reach those levels of power pretty quickly after what we saw in the Broly film. And even though I don't like the Broly film, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is just to look at different cases on how they can win, whether it makes sense or not. Now, we saw Broly training on there. His training was not specifically to get stronger, but to control his power, just like how Kale was trying to do it in the Tournament of Power herself with her Berserk state, right? Now, I think if Broly gets control over his, like, full powered Super Saiyan, legendary Super Saiyan state, whatever you want to call it, if he gets like full control of it and can control his emotions, doesn't just go into like a fit of rage, I think he would be perfectly able to train and actually spar with Goku and Vegeta, because they wanted to, but Broly's too dangerous, so they couldn't really fully go all out with him. And he could only really do it in his base, so that wasn't going to give them enough of a challenge or help in this fight. So I think in this arc, which they were showing in like the manga at least, with Piccolo's Broly's training, I think what they can do is if he can have control over it, both Goku and Vegeta can fight him, and as they fight him, he will get more and more powerful. He will get powerful enough to the point where he will match them or surpass them, and now they can have a real battle where they can go back and forth, and they can get even stronger. So think of it, like, if you really want an impressive training, we can have Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, Gamma 1 and 2, fully controlled Broly, Granola, and Goku and Vegeta, all of them fighting against each other or just training with each other. They can have a whole big training thing to get each other stronger, because right now Frieza, the whole point is just to beat him, so they can do a whole group effort of getting stronger together. And I think those are the best ways. Broly, I think, would be the best training partner because of his how his power accelerates pretty rapidly. But it's just the control thing, and that's what I think they were focusing on. So I think once he has that, they're going to have him getting stronger, and then helping them train and getting that power. And then with also having that, they will not only get Broly stronger that way, maybe he might even unlock Super Saiyan 2, maybe 3, maybe God or Blue. I'm not saying that's going to all happen at once, but maybe in the future, because they kept him around for a reason. And I just think it would be best to, have him control his power. I think once he does that, I think his power can go up significantly because it's easier to train with them. And he will basically be more of a main staple of the Z Fighters crew. But yeah, Frieza at this point is very powerful, but they can do that. Now, there's the other thing I thought that they could do that would be pretty clever for both Goku and Vegeta to give them an advantage against Frieza, would be to, one, and this is, like I said, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. This is my headcanon. Hopefully it does, because this does sound creative. But we know that Frieza went to another dimension, which has, the time range is better than even the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. And we know Frieza's significantly already naturally powerful, so we don't know if training in that dimension was specifically more better than, Hyperbolic Time Chamber, but we do know he got way stronger. So what could we do? We could have it where Goku and Vegeta are trying to find the dimension where he trained. Is like, well, Frieza got way stronger. He mentioned something about a dimension he trained somehow with 10 years and got that much more power. Maybe if we want to beat him, we need to follow the trails to where he got that power from and how he's able to obtain it. So we could either, do the same thing, or, find something to help us, on how to beat him. So what can they do? They could ask Whis, like, hey, look, we know, you already know at this point, Black Frieza came back, he's strong. You mentioned that somebody's the strongest in the universe. We need to get the revelation of that too. He might reveal that, yeah, Frieza is technically the strongest. You guys are all very powerful, but he's way above you. And then be like, okay, well, we know that at this point then. That's good. But how do we beat him? We need to find out the dimension that he was training in. What was so specific about it? And then maybe Whis can have a thing where he can, use his staff to connect the energy signature that's coming off of Frieza to try to match it to a dimension that matches that energy frequency, so he can basically help study it and learn on how to use it for them. So when they locate, the energy signature to that specific dimension, we could have it where, we could try to find a way to get them inside there so they could train. Because even if, let's say, well, Frieza is naturally, a prodigy, so he is more gifted and is able to obtain more power faster than both Goku and Vegeta, obviously, this dimension still gives a significant help with training, and especially with the time dilation stuff, because the Hyperbolic Time Chamber is very impressive for that, important for that. Also, they've been using the Hyperbolic Time Chamber quite a bit, even though technically you could only use it twice, and they've Goku and Vegeta at this point have used it way more than twice, which doesn't make any sense. But that's not the point. They've used it, and we've seen the power ups they got in it. So imagine this dimension that has even better time dilation, where it's even slower, and it gives you more of a significant power boost. Goku and Vegeta, instead of going to the hyperbolic time chamber, could probably go to this dimension, wherever how Frieza found it. So we can have it where Whis finds the location, finds a place, and Goku and Vegeta want to go train there. He's like, oh, if he got that powerful there, maybe we should go there. And they go there, and maybe this dimension has something in the atmosphere or something that's made out of it that is very hard and straining on the body, that forces you to get stronger to be able to handle it. Kind of like what we saw in the anime version of Resurrection of F, where we transport in this dimension so they could obtain Super Saiyan God powers, or the God instance, which never made sense, but whatever. So they could go to this dimension that would push their bodies to the limits, and whatever, we can see what Frieza went through his training to get him that powerful, and then they could also give them that. So I think that's also a great type of idea that they could have, where they just find it because, one, it is creative. Two, it's kind of like is introspective, because usually they're just like, let's train and get stronger, let's fight, let's train with like Whis or Beerus, so let's get stronger. But this way they could be like, they're actually investigating. They're like, well, how did he get stronger? So let's see what he did, and then find that place and then use it for our own benefit. Because even if Frieza is stronger than them, and let's say he gives them a couple of days, because we don't know how long they have to train. Because like I said, they can train, but what if Frieza gives them like only a day or two? What if he gives them like a short window of time to train? And even though they can get stronger, that's not significant enough to be able to handle him. So if they want to get stronger, they need to find a place where time is slower. They already have the hyperbolic time chamber, but I think they've done it too many times, to the point where I think it would be better just to use the new dimension, which they already, stated anyway, and it'll be cool to, understand it more. So we can have it to where they go to this dimension, and if the time frame is short, let's say the other, like, all these guys are training, all the, Vegeta and them are all training and stuff, and they're all fighting, and they're like, we're getting stronger, but Black Frieza's too powerful still. And then Goku and Vegeta's like, okay, he's arriving, we want to fight him, but we're just not prepared. So what are we going to do? Do we all just go and fight him at once and have, a chance of beating him, but he can destroy us? Or do we have some of us go to fight against him and try to see how well they can hold off with our, immense powers? And a couple of us go into this dimension to get stronger. And by a couple, I mean just Goku and Vegeta, if I'm being honest. So we can have it where, the side characters can fight Frieza for the first half to hold him back and try to take him down and do some cool stuff and see their power fully, especially compared to, Frieza. And then have it where Goku and Vegeta are saved up as the ace, where they can get stronger. So we have like Broly, Granola, Gamma 1 and 2, Piccolo, and Gohan, all jumping Black Frieza at once, and just seeing what they're able to do, seeing the back and forth, seeing how strong they are. Like, obviously Gamma 1 and 2 are going to be the weakest, so they're going to fall back the most. Then it's going to be Piccolo, and then, Broly might kind of be that at first, but if he gets stronger, it's not going to be really him. For right now, it's kind of iffy between, Beast Gohan and Granola, but I do think Granola is still stronger than Beast Gohan. So I think it's gonna be basically, it's gonna be Granola at the strongest, then Beast Gohan, then Broly, then Orange Piccolo, then the two androids, in terms of just power right then. But if we're talking about potential and stuff, I do think that even Granola, though he's higher, I think Broly could close the gap and surpass it, and Broly could be number one. Maybe Granola and Gohan might be fighting for the second spot at that point, but they can all do that. They can jump in, fight Frieza. So he's fighting them all. He could beat like Orange Piccolo and those other guys. They can have their stuff. Gohan might be able to do something, but maybe he might fall back. And the Granola, it's him and Broly. Broly's getting stronger. Granola's fighting him, but even he's like, I can't handle him. He's too much. He's easily beating me. And I'm not saying that Granola could handle him, because let's be honest, at this point Granola should be getting easily bodied, but I'm gonna go under the assumption that Frieza's like cocky shit and just fucking with them all. So he's just messing with them all and he's like, hey, I don't give a shit. I'm just waiting for Goku and Vegeta. Whatever they're doing, I don't care. They can get as strong as they want. They're not gonna beat me because he's so arrogant, And then he beats, Granola, and Broly gets strong enough to fight against Frieza, and Frieza's like, oh yeah, don't think I forgot about what you did in the last film, when in fucking the Broly film, what you did to me. So Frieza's now beating him up. Broly's getting more powerful, but even though he's getting more powerful, Frieza's too much for him, and Frieza's like, you know what? This guy's probably a danger, and I have to take him out. I know what he is. There's only two ways to do it with Broly at this point. One, either Frieza, realizes that his increase in power is too dangerous, so he has to beat him right away, and like stops playing around. Or even though Broly can get stronger, he does have a limit to how much stronger he can get. Like he just can't accelerate infinitely, and he kind of reached out his max against him. So that could be the case. But they're basically held back, and then you have Vegeta and Goku in the other dimension, held back, and then them both coming out ready to fight Frieza, and then Goku and Vegeta being like, I can handle him, or I'll take him. So they both try to fight him. It could either go this way. Either they both fight him and they're both struggling, and they might be struggling, but they find a way to beat him together. So we can have both Goku and Vegeta working together to beat him, or they can fuse and then have a fuse state to beat him, or another way. Now let's look at all the three scenarios that I think of in my head. The one where they both fight, they can just double up on him and probably, work together as a team simultaneously without fusing to take down Black Frieza and beat him. Or we can have them just fuse and become this new form. Now, that could happen, and this third scenario can also happen on top of it, but I do think this would be more separate. Now, what am I talking about? The third one, I'm not going to explain it yet, but I'm going to talk about the fusion itself. Now, we've been talking about this. Of a fused state between Goku and Vegeta, we have Ultra Ego and, True Ultra Instinct Goku, or just Ultra Instinct Goku combined. Can you imagine Ultra Instinct with, Ultra Ego? That would basically be a God of Destruction's power mixed in with an Angel's power. So you have the Destructive power and the Angel power, just not, fully mastered, but still, even a non-fully mastered power of those two, and with the level of power that Goku and Vegeta have, especially if they have a increase in their power together as fused state, it will be ridiculously astronomical. So it could either be they're beating Frieza and it diffuses because of how much power they have, and Frieza just able to turn back, or Frieza's just naturally still more powerful than them. That would be insane. Can you imagine that? Even with their insane power boost, and they combine a mastery of their perspective abilities, they fuse. Even with that, they still lose to Black Frieza. That would be crazy. Like, how the fuck do you beat this guy? Maybe they beat him enough where he's drained, and then even if separately they can find a way to beat him. But I think the third scenario is my favorite, and that's having Vegeta beating him. We can have it where they did it before, where Goku goes in first and Vegeta beats him as the second guy. We can have it where Goku and Vegeta, they have unlocked new powers, but they haven't shown it yet. Goku showcases his new power. He showcases a way to fight against Frieza. He does put up a good fight, but Frieza is just too powerful, and Goku can't beat him. But Goku does help Vegeta learn some of Frieza's weaknesses and one way to beat him, or a way to beat him. And then Goku just gets beaten up, and he gets taken out, and he's like, man, this power is great, but it's not enough to beat him. And Frieza's just like, that's all you have? And then Vegeta be jumping in and like, since Kakarot showed his new ability, I want to show you mine. And this is where Vegeta showcases that though they've been training together, Vegeta's got more powerful than Goku because he has his ability, what he's unlocked, it's significantly above Goku. And he's the one who ends up finishing Black Frieza. So Goku is strong enough to, give him some of a fight back, obviously, and push back, and also expose his weaknesses, but he's not enough to beat him. But now Vegeta, his power is above Goku's, and he's learned his weaknesses and how to exploit it to beat him. And then, we just have Vegeta using his better or more perfected, Ultra Ego form, basically beating the crap out of him, and then using Hakai to wipe him out of existence. So he's not in hell anymore, he's basically just wiped out. And Vegeta's like, hey, you said you don't want to go back to hell? You don't have to worry, you're not going to be anywhere anymore. And then we just stop with Frieza. No more Frieza at that point. He's done. His entire introductions and stuff is over. So it could go those ways. Personally, I don't know which way it's going to go out. These are just a bunch of my thoughts and theories on which way it can go, and some fun little ideas that I have. Personally, I think the best thing to do would be for Goku and Vegeta to get better training. Have Whis and Mears train Goku on his Ultra Instinct form, and have Beerus and Toppo help out Vegeta with his Ultra Ego form. Then have them learn new techniques and abilities, have new power-ups, have them train with the other guys, see more of their engaging power of like, Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, Broly, have Broly control his power, get stronger, have Granola get more of a power boost and learn how to control his power even better with just training instead of just, the power boost through a wish itself. And Piccolo did the same thing, which is funny because both of them did the same thing just through different wishes, and they both got significant jumps in power. But you have them train and stuff, have them work all together, and then have like, Goku and Vegeta wanted to find out how Frieza did, so it's like a little more interesting and a little more in depth also on their approach on how to beat him, and then have them just train so we can have the other side characters have their entire fight against Frieza and his army, showcase what they can do, their extend their power, and the cool back and forth, how strong these characters are and how strong they can get, and then have Vegeta and Goku come in for the finish. And like I said, it can go through either three of those. I would love to see a fusion, but I would mostly love to see Vegeta getting the win. I would, like I said, love to see a fusion of that. Just the design of Ultra Ego with Ultra Instinct would be absurd, and the power, like how crazy it would be. But the thing I want to see the most in the end of the day is Vegeta beating him and wiping him out of existence and just finishing Frieza for the rest of the time. No more Frieza, just end of him, and Vegeta gets the final kill, and not just kills him, but wipes him out of existence. So, like I said, maybe the end of this scenario, they could have the fuse state and have just Black Frieza still too powerful, which would make Black Frieza insanely powerful, and still, like, at least have a cool thing with a transformation, and then have it still with Vegeta ending it. So, who knows? But those are just my thoughts. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. What do you think that Goku and Vegeta and the rest of the Z fighters can do to get stronger to beat Black Frieza? How powerful do you think Black Frieza is for them to get stronger to have to beat him? And what do you think would be the best scenario for Black Frieza getting beaten? What do you think how it should end? So yeah, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on my ideas of this. But not only that, but also your ideas and thoughts on what you guys would do for how it would be written out and how you would finish this, because I think there's many interesting ways. I just can't wait until this whole manga arc chapter thing is done, because I'm pretty sure we're all tired of the whole Dragon Ball Superhero stuff. We're at the Orange Piccolo stuff. I don't think the next issue is going to end it. The next issue is probably going to end with Cell Max breaking out and then fighting Cell Max. But maybe within that, after that issue, so within 2 issues, we might have Beast Gohan beating him, and then finally we're gonna get into the Black Frieza arc. Hopefully the Black Frieza arc does not have a hiatus. We already had a hiatus with the Granola arc, then brought the Trunks and Goten stuff, then now this. We don't need another break. We already had a break, and then 2 filler type of arcs that we don't need, and then another break that would be annoying. Hopefully they just get right into the Black Frieza arc, but let's be honest, the first half is definitely going to be them training and seeing how to get better and stronger to beat him, and then the other half is going to be using that power that they've gained to try to beat him and find a way to figure out this puzzle on how to beat this new Frieza's power. So yeah, and hopefully this is the end of Frieza in general, because you guys already know my feelings and thoughts on him. I'm just sick and tired of the character at this point. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.